Hey, I'm Dr. Jesse Abend, and in this video, I'm going to talk with you about the problem with intermittent fasting. I do, however, want to start by saying that I truly believe intermittent fasting has many health benefits, and many of these health benefits are backed by real science and real research. Now, before I get into the major problems I see when it comes to intermittent fasting, I do first want to briefly go over what intermittent fasting is and its health benefits. So let's begin. Intermittent fasting is essentially when you don't eat for extended periods of time. This is in contrast to how the majority of us here in America tend to eat, which is basically all the time. Intermittent fasting has gained a lot of popularity within the past few years, particularly in part due to a lot of celebrity endorsements and notable figures who have publicly talked about their experiences with intermittent fasting, such as Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey, Kourtney Kardashian, and Jennifer Aniston, to name a few. Now, there are all different styles of intermittent fasting depending on who you talk to and what you read. A common style that you may come across is the 16-8 method, which means you only are allowed to eat within an 8-hour window, and then the other 16 hours you fast. Another popular method is the 5-2 style, which means that you eat normally 5 days out of the week, but the other 2 days you limit your total caloric intake to around 500 calories per day. Some other intermittent fasting methods even recommend fasting for an entire day or even multiple days throughout the week. So why do people do this? Why do people fast? You're probably thinking, why would anyone voluntarily put themselves through this and suffer when instead you could be enjoying delicious food at any time of the day? Well, people do this because there are many potential health benefits when it comes to fasting. Some of these health benefits include weight loss, lowering blood pressure, improved blood sugar, increased mental clarity, prevention of chronic diseases, increasing longevity, and many more. So there's a lot of science and research that backs up why intermittent fasting can lead to these health benefits. But I'm just gonna touch on the most obvious one, which is its ability to simply reduce your total calorie intake. See, when you don't eat for extended periods of time, this often means that you're likely going to take in a lot less calories throughout the day as compared to your normal diet. Without having to go through the work of tracking your food and calorie intake, intermittent fasting essentially guarantees you're going to end up eating less because you have less time to eat throughout the day. Now, it's not to say that some extremely talented and very hungry people can't ingest 3,000 calories in one sitting, but on average, most people are going to take in less calories, which will ultimately lead to weight loss. So a quick physiology lesson on why you typically lose weight when you consume less calories. Essentially, our bodies need energy to survive, and we get that energy from the food we eat. And we use calories as a measurement of just how much energy is in that food. Now, depending on how much you weigh, your height, your gender, the amount of physical activity that you do, and a few other factors, you will need to take in a certain amount of calories in order to maintain your current weight and keep you alive. Now, to lose weight, when you decrease your calorie intake or increase your physical activity, which burns more calories, or do both, your body now has to use its own stored energy, otherwise known as fat, which leads to weight loss. Now, it's not exactly that simple, but for the most part, this is the basic fundamental principle of how we lose weight. So when you're fasting, you're not taking in calories or energy, which, as you now know, means your body has to break down its own fat to continue to survive, which leads to weight loss. If you continue to eat less calories than your body uses, plus if you add an additional exercise, you will continue to lose weight. So this sounds fantastic, right? A guaranteed way to lose weight. Simple, straightforward, I like your style. Well, unfortunately, not so fast. Now I want to get into the problem I have with intermittent fasting. Not so much that there is an actual problem or significant health risk that comes along with fasting, but more so the practicality and reality of integrating intermittent fasting into our current lifestyle and way of eating. The way I see intermittent fasting is that it really is an advanced level of eating. What I mean by this is that it's not really something the average person should just dive right into. And that's because it's so much different than our current eating pattern. And our bodies, including our brains, just don't like different. See, like with most diets, although there may be many health benefits to that particular way of eating, all these benefits don't matter if you can't sustain it for your entire life. Short-term weight loss in the typical diet cycles of ups and downs are likely not contributing to your overall health and are most likely hurting it long-term. When we try to take on these diets or dietary patterns all at once, such as intermittent fasting, we typically do gain some short-term positive results. However, almost all of us eventually find ourselves a few weeks in, maybe a few months if we're lucky, back to our old way of eating because we just couldn't handle and sustain that drastic change. So what do you do if you want to eat healthy and lose weight if I'm essentially telling you that diets don't work and they'll never work? Well, the truth is, give up. Quit. You're wasting your time. I'm just joking. If you do want to make some changes and finally be successful, you need to go about it the right way. Understand that your body on a physiological level does not like change. And the more drastic the change, the stronger your body and brain is going to counter-react in order to make sure you go back to your old ways where it's comfortable living. Now here's a hack or just some real life advice, which is make small changes and your body will not react as strongly. In fact, your body may not even realize you're making any changes at all. So for example, instead of drastically starving yourself for the entire day, what you should do instead is reduce your calories by maybe around 250 to 500 per day, or even every other day, or maybe every week. You start small. Over time, this adds up and your body adapts and adjusts, and you actually are doing something that your body can sustain long term. And I'm sure you can already guess what I'm going to say next, which is then you continue to consistently make small, healthy changes and tweaks to your diet over time, likely months and likely years. When you do it this way, the right way, you'll eventually completely transform your diet and yourself into a much healthier version for good. And then maybe when you've had this incredible transformation that happened over years of consistently small, healthy changes, you now want to start thinking about adding intermittent fasting, then I would say go ahead, because you've mastered the actual fundamentals and you can now advance to a more difficult eating pattern. Now, it's not to say that some people just can't make incredible and drastic changes and stick with it forever and skip ahead to these advanced ways, because there are certainly some people that can. But the truth is, that's a minority, and realistically and practically speaking, most of us just can't. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I hope this gave you some more insight, not only into intermittent fasting, but into long-term sustainable lifestyle and dietary change. I hope that if anything, this video opened your eyes and taught you that it's okay to go slow, and it's important to focus on sustainability over immediacy when it comes to your nutrition and your health. And another thing that I do want to mention before I sign off, that I always tell people, is that this is a very hard thing to do because it requires patience, time, accountability, etc. And it's okay and actually recommended to ask for help. Just like many people get help when they first start exercising by working with a personal trainer in the gym who shows them how to exercise, shows them how to use the equipment properly, helps keep them motivated and excited and accountable. Nutrition coaches are people who do the same thing, but with your diet. Now, not all nutrition coaches are equal, and you really have to be careful when it comes to their level of certification and education, because there are a lot of self-proclaimed experts in the world of nutrition, unfortunately, who can give you very bad and even harmful advice. And it's because of this that I created Healthy Coach. At Healthy Coach, All of my coaches have backgrounds as registered dietitians, so you know you're working with the best of the best. They help you stick with and sustain a healthier diet for good by giving you that much needed added accountability, motivation, and education that comes only from working with a great coach. Now, working with a coach isn't a forever thing, although a lot of our members truly enjoy working with our coaches for many years because of the real relationships and friendships they've established. Our overall goal, however, is to empower you so that you can become completely independent and self-reliant when it comes to your nutrition and your health. And truthfully, this is likely one of the best investments you can ever make because after all, your health is absolutely everything. And being in poor health is not only extremely sad, painful, and unfortunate, but it's also extremely expensive when it comes to its associated healthcare costs. Now, this doesn't mean that people can't do this completely on their own, because some of us certainly can. But a good, knowledgeable, and compassionate coach is invaluable and can help save most of us a lot of time, headaches, energy, and even a lot of money by helping you stick to a solid and science-based plan long-term and for good. If you are considering or you're totally ready to make sustainable dietary changes and improve your health once and for all, then I highly recommend you checking out my company website, healthycoach.com, and teaming up with one of my expert nutrition coaches. I guarantee it will change your life for good. All right, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I thoroughly enjoyed making it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and check out one of my other videos to learn some other cool nutrition stuff. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.